Here with us now from Capitol Hill, Republican Senator from Georgia and ranking member of the Intelligence Committee, Senator Saxby Chambliss. And joining the table, we have Morning Joe contributor John Hellman as well.
So, Saxby, thank you for being with us.
Sure. How many cups of coffee you had this morning, Joe? Man, that caffeine has got you wired.
I'm wired, baby. I'm wired. Let me ask you something. The President of the United States said he consulted with you and the Intel Committee leading up this decision. Is that true or false?
Well, the last time I heard from the administration on this particular issue was a year and a half ago. Now, if that's consulting with us on it, then I guess that's what you would call it.
I'll take that as a false. The president also said, Saxby, that he was concerned about Bergdahl's health, that he was in immediate danger. His life was at risk. Based on what you have seen, is that true or false?
There's no indication that there were any health issues with Sergeant Bergdahl. I can say that very matter-of-factly. Now, the video that we saw yesterday, it was a 90-second video. He was obviously drugged. As a layman, I could tell that. He was probably coerced into mumbling the words that he mumbled. He didn't look good, but that's not enough to tell me that he's in imminent health danger from a health standpoint.
Saxby, I saw Dianne Feinstein. We also saw Dianne Feinstein. We saw Jay Rockefeller. We saw a lot of Democrats yesterday very critical of the administration on this issue, and I've been on the phone with a lot of Democratic senators also critical of the administration. Do you are you hearing the same in the Intel Committee? Is there, for the most part, bipartisan concern over this matter?
No question about it. I mean, the fact that Dianne, myself, Dutch Ruppersberger, and Mike Rogers on the House side wrote a letter to the president. We wrote 2 letters to the president, actually, as long ago as 3 years when this was first broached. And we said, you guys are crazy. Said, we know these 5 guys. You can't release these 5 guys because they're 5 of the meanest, nastiest killers in the world.
So you and Dianne Feinstein signed that letter together to the president 3 years ago?
Absolutely. And we also sent one to Senator Clinton, and we got a very detailed response from Secretary Clinton, but we never heard back from the White House, interestingly enough. One
final question from me, Saxby, then I'll open it up to the panel here. There apparently are reports out that there was a letter that Bergdahl left on his bed that I've heard you say was not part of an intel package that you read. What information do you have on that?
Yeah, I reviewed about 2 years ago because this issue of Bergdahl being a deserter was swirling around out there, and I wanted to find out as much as I could about it. And I asked the Army to let me see his file, and they graciously did. And there was nothing in that file relative to any letter he left. So when I saw the article in the press the other day about that, I was really surprised by it because the Army doesn't play games with us on something like this. And yesterday in the hearing, we did get confirmation that there was, in fact, no letter that they're aware of.
That they're aware of, okay. Willie Geist.
Senator Chambliss, couple ones for you, and then I'll pass it around the table as well. There were reports a couple of days ago that the White House had called you and some other senators to apologize for not alerting you before this deal went down. And then yesterday, members of the administration came out and say, no, we didn't apologize to anybody. We called to express regret that we only reached staffers and not the senators themselves. Can you clarify that? Did you get an apology from the White House?
I did, very clearly. Monday night, they called me and said, it's just come to my attention. You did not get an advance phone call on this. And I apologize. I don't know how, it was pretty clear. And that's okay.
What was your reaction, Senator, when you got that apology?
Well, my reaction was that, look, you guys know where I am on this issue. You got in writing from me my strong objection to the release of these 5 guys. And I can't overstate, this was my comment, I can't overstate how ticked off I am about this, because I understand the background of all 5 of them. I know that while we have a 30% recidivism rate of either confirmed or suspected folks that have come out of Gitmo, I guarantee you 100% of these 5 are going to return to the fight. And the White House knows that. And that's why this thing just irks me to no end.
And Senator, one of the parts of this story that's bothered people so much is reports that at least 6 United States servicemen died in the search for Sergeant Bergdahl. But Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, speaking in Brussels yesterday, and I'm going to quote him on this, says, "I do not know of specific circumstances or details of U.S. soldiers dying as a result of efforts to find and rescue Sergeant Bergdahl." You sit on the Intelligence Committee. As far as you know, are there specific instances where American men died in the military in search of Sergeant Bergdahl?
Well, the short answer to that is no, I don't. I've heard the same statements coming out of soldiers that served with Sergeant Bergdahl and what they did and what they were instructed to do relative to searching for him, and that they lost comrades and friends during the process of those searches. What I can tell you is that this was kind of news to the Army also, and they're in the process of trying to go back and check the details of each one of those specific instances, and hopefully they'll make public whatever the findings are relative to that.
John Hyman.
Senator, you've argued that the White House should declassify the files on the 5 terrorists who were swapped for Mr. Bergdahl. Tell me about what you think the public interest is in seeing the details of those declassified files.
Because now their history, I mean, they're released, and the information in their files in some instances is 10 or 12 years old. So it's not like it's something that's recent that's going to cause us problems. Now, they'll have to redact part of it if there's sources and methods that will have to be removed out of there. That's fine, but I think it's incumbent upon an administration that took an act as egregious as this and that flies in the face of the way we have previously negotiated the return of prisoners, to tell the American people why we think these 5 guys who have this background, and the background should be explained to the American people, why we think with that background it's not a national security issue to release these 5 guys. Let me tell you, these guys, 2 of them were extremely close to bin Laden, very high in the al-Qaeda echelon.
Yeah.
3 of them are very close to Mullah Omar, the guy that founded the Taliban. So Mullah Omar is celebrating today because he's got his new board of directors with these 5 guys, and they say the Qataris are going to monitor them. Yeah.
All right.
You think I believe that?
And we're celebrating Saxby because you just gave us the quote of the morning. Saxby Chambliss, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to be with you as always, guys.
I'm going to knock off the caffeine.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to.
Thank you for the advice.
I'm going to have what you're having, Saxby.
Yeah.